Hey Jehovah's Witnesses. So you've left the Jehovah's Witnesses. You don't go to the meetings anymore. You've done the slow fade. You just drifted away. Good for you. But I've spoken to a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses online and in person, and a lot of them say the same thing. They say that they have a emptiness, that they feel that they need to fill it with some kind of spirituality, and it worries them and concerns them that they can't do that. And I wanted to make this little video to tell you about my experience with that. First of all, it's something that I wholeheartedly sympathize with, and that I experienced myself when I left the Jehovah's Witnesses. When you're a Jehovah's Witness, your life is so bound up in the organization and in the society and in your worship of Jehovah that you have no idea how you could possibly fill that time when suddenly there's no ministry, there's no book study, there's no watchtower, there's no public talk, there's no theocratic ministry school, there's no Our Kingdom ministry, there's nothing, there's no assemblies, it's all gone, okay? And suddenly you find that your day-to-day, just scratch my leg here while I do this, suddenly you find that when you've faded away, you've left, you've been disfellowshipped, you become a bitter apostate like me, that when you do all those things that you've got so much time free, and that you want to spend some time with spirituality. Well, what do? A lot of people, and I feel really bad for those people, a lot of people, they decide that they're missing something out from the Jehovah's Witnesses and they end up returning. What I would describe that is that's very similar to what the Bible says about the dog returning to its own vomit. You didn't have a religion. Now, you weren't in a religion at all in the first place. You were in a cult, okay? When I was in and I left, I was looking for the Jehovah's Witness idea. I was looking for the right teaching, right? I remember reading the Latin word sola scriptura, which I think is by the Bible alone, and I tried to find that teaching that would be just perfect, that I could stand over. Now the bottom line is, whatever church you attend, even if you can stomach the notion of attending a church at this stage, it's going to be wrong, because all churches are wrong in their own ways, okay? And a lot of it doesn't really matter, but as a Jehovah's Witness, you're taught that it matters extremely. It's a big, big deal, okay? It can take you years, it could take you decades to understand that lots of the stuff that you view as very important is only very important because you've been told it's very important, okay? And you can live without a lot of those concerns. Whenever I left the Jehovah's Witness, as I said, the very first thing I did, and this shocks me still, is I spoke to the Mormons who called at my door, and I could easily be a Mormon now. I think I spoke to them for about 2 months. I got the great extra Bible and read about the Lamanites and what are they? Are they some kind of furniture? No. Anyway, I read about the Mormon New Testament. Of course, it's pretty laughable. The two little American boys who came to see me were very nice. They talked about how, yeah, I know, yeah, but you've got to really feel the burning in the bosom, and then you know it's right. And of course, it's still not right, because as I said to them, I felt the burning in the bosom when I was a Jehovah's Witness, but it was still bullshit. Okay, which leads me to another, and I want to do a video on one of these on swearing, because it's okay, guys, don't worry about it. Okay, it's one of those things you've been taught to worry too much about. Okay, but anyway, what do you do? Where do you go? Who do you speak to? How do you do it? So I spoke to the Mormons, and it was only after about 2 months that I finally decided to myself, well, I've just given a whole lot of critical thinking to my old religion. Maybe I should put that same critical thinking to my new thing that I'm looking at here and see if it's right. Went online. Last time I ever spoke to the Mormons. Okay. Then I went and saw the evangelical Christian movement for a little while, a few years. No harm in them. They like you to tithe about 10%, but I didn't do that. I would drop the $5 into the collection box. Again, the collection box, it's such a big deal. Why is it such a big deal? Everyone needs money to fund themselves, and God knows the Jehovah's Witnesses are milking you dry now, guys. Okay, so anyway, I went to them for a while, but ultimately I've sort of moved on to what I would think of as an agnostic viewpoint. If God exists, that's great. If God doesn't exist, well, I've been getting along so far anyway. Okay, and the point being is that I really should focus, and I'm not telling you what to think, but people, I think, should focus on things that are immediately important to them. Okay, world views and philosophy have a place for sure, but at the end of the day, when most Jehovah's Witnesses leave the Jehovah's Witnesses, we're poorly educated, we're not very well off, and we've got a really screwed up system of friends. Okay, and so probably the best thing you could do at this stage is concentrate on worldly things, getting that in order. Okay, you know, and if the God you love exists, he's going to understand. Okay, he's going to understand. Anyway, what, as I say, when I left the Jehovah's Witnesses, I tried that. I tried a lot of stuff like that, those religions. I find them generally unsatisfying, although better than the Jehovah's Witnesses, nicer and more loving. But I didn't find it to be any more right. Okay, when I find myself where I am now, I'm pretty comfortable, and I don't feel like a hypocrite. And one thing Jehovah's Witnesses have to do is we have to know everything. We have to just, oh, society says this about this and about this, and and that's why if you ever veer off the track of the Jehovah's Witness knowledge, it starts to get a bit iffy. I remember we had a discussion one time in our book study. I did an additional Friday night book study because I was a really good boy. We talked about the Big Bang Theory, and they sort of were like poo-pooing the Big Bang Theory, and I said to them, guys, it's not even about religion. It's just about the origin of the universe. It's perfectly consistent with belief in the Bible, if you want it to be. It's really neither here nor there. And the look of them was like, oh no, he's talking about it. Maybe he's a science believer, And this is the attitude Jehovah's Witnesses have. They either have to know everything or the thing's rubbish. Right? And what I'm here to tell you now is you don't need to know everything. You don't even need to know a tiny fraction. And the reality is you don't know a tiny fraction, because like everyone else, we are all ignorant. Okay? One of the greatest scientists in the history of the world was a chap called Richard Feynman. You will be able to find the Feynman lectures on YouTube, and if you're a very smart puppy, which I'm not, I recommend you listen to him. And Richard Feynman said that he has a limited amount of intelligence, and he used it in a specific way. He said that he has no knowledge of politics or philosophy or art or literature. Okay, love, and he just uses that intelligence for one thing. I'm making it. So that's my daughter. So anyway, he doesn't feel the need. He uses his intelligence and his mental powers in one direction, and I would suggest you don't need to spread yourself too thin to know everything. Relax. You just left the Jehovah's Witnesses. You just left a cult. I'm not here to get you to join mine. I don't have a cult. No meetings at all. Okay? But if you do want to have a contact with someone who's been out a long time, if you who hopefully is a bit reasonable, I'm not looking to make you born again. I'm not looking to make you an atheist. I don't really care. But that's my daughter. You clear off. But anyway, I hope you like this video. If you're interested, contact me, and I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you. All right, thanks. Bye bye.